Mic check. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Going live on YouTube. I just want to say hello to everybody because what I'm doing is I'm trying to reach out to everybody. I want to say shalom, Shabbat, happy Sabbath, wherever we want to call it. I just want to say hello to you all because I'm trying to test the system for tonight. We're going to be going live tonight for First Friday Bible study. So that's going to be tonight. Like for you guys to tune in to that. So I'm just testing the system. I won't be doing it from this location, but I am checking my system to make sure everything's going to be okay. So just bear with me for a moment as I go on live. I'd just like to see what you all are doing so that I can actually see you, or at least hope to see you. So tonight, this is going to be at 8:30 p.m. You'll be able to watch us live. This is going to be for Bible study. And I'm kind of testing the system to make sure it's going to work. So you'll be able to, when we do the lesson, you'll see I'll be able to use PowerPoints like this, going back and forth. So just make sure that you have your King James Version Bible. And that's the best I can tell you. Have your King James Version Bible and just be ready to go tonight. It's going to be at 8:30 p.m. right here on this channel. Please share and let people know that we're going to be on live. I don't know a way to see the chats as of yet. So that may be a little delay in doing that. I'm trying to look at my YouTube now to see if it comes up on my cell phone. So I don't know. I haven't done it this way. This is just a backup solution. Let me get out of this.
It's good to be here.
So you can see me. Okay, there you go. So this is going to be a backup solution for tonight. The backup solution is if my audio video people are not able to make it, I can do it this way from the location. But I do expect them to show up. I do expect them to help. But, you know, the way the adversary works, you know, if you just got to have multiple plans in place and be ready to go. So that's about the best I can tell you. So that's what I'm trying to do, is to be able to do this tonight and do it live. So I hope that you all will be there. I see that we have a number of people watching now. And so when you come on tonight, have your King James Version Bible. You'll be able to, we're going to have a very in-depth lesson. That's the best I can tell you. It's going to be very in-depth. Every first Friday of the month, we're going to be doing this. Every first Friday, you'll be able to see this. Okay, I can see some chats now. I can see Mega Old School. I can see True Hebrew Israelite. How are you all doing? So you'll be able to see this tonight. Try to give you an idea of what you're going to be experiencing. So you'll be able to see the PowerPoint presentation like this. We'll be going through the various slides of what we're going to be coming through. I don't know if I'm going to be coming from this lesson tonight, but this is just a lesson that I had, and I'm not going to use this lesson, but I just wanted to give you an idea of the interaction that you're going to have. So tune in. This is the first time that I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing this from the congregation for we have our services at. We'll have our high definition cameras. We'll have a team there. They'll be able to help me navigate through this. We'll have a backdrop where we'll be able to bring down our big screen. You'll be able to see the PowerPoint as if I'm showing you now. And perhaps, I don't know how I'm going to be able to interact. I tried to go through something called chat room or something like that. But I am going to set up, I tell you what I am going to set up. I am going to set up a 1-800 number conference call. So what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to call in. So I'm going to leave that live on the tabletop on our phone line there. So I'll be able to run that number at the bottom of the screen. You'll be able to see what number to call into. But you would have to keep your phones down. But if there's a question when we open it up for Q&A, you'll be able to come back and ask questions, and we can be able to interact that way. So it's going to be a great time. We're going to have a great time. And Bible study to me, is one of the most important things that we can do. The scripture says, study to show yourself approval, a workman need not be put to shame, but to rightly divide the word of truth. So it's so important. Bible study is important. There's another scripture that comes to mind. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. So that happens. People are just not studying today. And we want to fulfill. I did get a list of lessons for us to look at and to consider for as we do our opener and as we do lessons in the future. My job is to make the Bible authentic, make it a reputable source. One of the things I do with dealing with the gospel according to the prophets, which is where my mind is going at tonight, is to bring out the book of Daniel, bring out how Daniel, as a prophet, wrote world history and how that world history came out to play. So that's a particular lesson that I'm looking at. Also, looking at the feast days. We have the feast days coming up, looking at the feast days being a plan to salvation, looking at the feast days being it's bigger than just keeping the Passover. It's bigger than the unleavened bread. So we're going to get into what it's really about and stuff like that. So you're going to have a good time. I'm trying to look at what we have here. Okay, great. Just looking at some of the comments that's coming across. So the feast days, that's a whole different celebration. That's a whole different lesson, because even as Israelites, our understanding of the feast days is from an obedient, compliant standpoint, and we really, in my opinion, we don't fully understand what the feast days point to. They really point to something. They point to the gospel of the kingdom of heaven, which will be established here on earth. So you'll be able to see that lesson. And as we go, I would more than likely will start to pre-post the lessons where I will be able to email them to you. And that's as time goes and as the audience builds, we'll be able to do that. Send the lessons out to you ahead of time. You can study it. You'll have it. These are all scriptures that will be coming from the Word. Again, I use King James Version Bible. If tonight you tune in to Bible study, I use the English terms, Jesus, Lord, God. Feel free to do what makes you comfortable. I'm okay with that. But when we start to get into names that like Yaku, Saul, keep in mind our audience may not know who you're talking about. So take the time, instead of saying Yaku, say Jacob, saying Saul, say Paul. So just keep that in mind. And our audience, we're not restricting people, but we'll play it by ear as things go. This is not a debate session. A Bible study is not a debate because it's not conjectural. It's of nobody's interpretation. Meaning the way when I read that scripture, the Bible's of no one man's interpretation. I look at that as if my interpretation is not needed. It speaks for itself, especially if you can add 2 or 3 scriptures to show a point. And that's putting line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. The setting would be different. Again, I would be at the congregation, so you'll see different camera shots and stuff like that, unless something doesn't work out. So that's why I have this plan B, just to advertise, to say what we're going to be doing tonight. Of course, the lighting would be a lot better, so I apologize for the lighting now. So you're going to have a good time. But again, keep in mind the audience that we're going to be having. It will be the Sabbath, and it's a good way to start off the Sabbath. It's a good way to come into the Sabbath, is to come in under His Word. This will be 8:30 tonight Eastern Time. 8:30 tonight Eastern Time. Some of you all won't get it. It'll be 7:30 your time, depending on if you're mountain and all like that, as you go across the United States in the various time zones. So if we have to modify that time at a later date so that it would allow those that, as we go west across the country in the time zones, to accommodate them, I would do that. I would be more than happy to do that. It's the Sabbath to me, so time is not an issue. How long would our Bible studies last? I think the Bible studies are going to last probably about an hour and a half, up to an hour and a half. I see somebody saying they're from North Carolina. I know I have Birmingham, Alabama. So I know Birmingham, Alabama. I think you're on Eastern Time. I'm not for sure. You could be an hour behind us. North Carolina, you're on Eastern Time. New York, you're on Eastern Time. Texas is going to be about 2 hours behind us. We have a group that is on the naval ship, so hopefully they'll be able to get to their room. They have a room that they're going to rent out, and they'll be able to look at us, that they have accommodated, and to get everybody there on time for the Bible study. But again, we're going to start off with a little introduction, and you're going to have a good time. I love Bible study. If you think of any other ways that we can better communicate, whether it's a phone line, a phone conference call, just, put it down inside the notes and I'll look at it, because I'm going to be there earlier, and it maybe it's something that maybe we can use a conference call line, and as I'm teaching the lesson, you'll be able to tune in and we'll be able to hear you. And then from there, I don't know how it would affect your smartphone, if you'll be able to be on their smartphone and on a conference call and look at the YouTube. I don't know how that would work. It may be a challenge, but if you're at home, it will work out very well for you. And I will have someone there being able to look at the chats. Now, I've heard of something called Google Chat. I know YouTube has one. I tried to set it up. It didn't orchestrate too well for me. I would try it again because our equipment at our congregation is a lot different. It's a lot more superior, high def, and all like that. So it's a lot more top notch, and of course I'll have some assistants there to help me to navigate that. So we'll definitely try. But right now, off the top of my head, I think we're going to do a conference call, set up a conference line that you call in, and then you'll be able to watch it, and then we'll open it up for questions, Q&A. Okay, so that's where we are. So I want to thank you all as I promote this first Friday Bible study. And I didn't know how to name it. It's just the first Friday of every month. First Friday, we're going to come together. My email is Bethel, BETHEL, House of God at Gmail. That's Bethel House of God at Gmail. So if you send me an email, perhaps tonight I can email you the PowerPoint lesson, and you can have it and maybe be able to go through the lessons. I'm thinking I may be able to do that. If not tonight, I'll be able to do that the next time. Some of you have already sent me an email, so if this is your first time tuning in, do that. That's at Bethel House of God at Gmail. So, and to kind of give you an idea, you'll be able to see things just like this. I'll be able to transition through the slides as I talk, just like now. You'll see it in full scale. I hope that is acceptable and you can see it clearly. I'm looking at my YouTube screen and it's coming out pretty good. So that's what you'll be able to do tonight. You'll be able to see it in this type of view and have a good time. So the quality of my lessons, I try to come with scriptures. Again, more scriptures. The more scriptures, I think it's better off that way. So that's how I try to come across. So I'm not going to spend most of your time. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to leave this video up so that you can tune in tonight. This is a promo video talking about our Bible study tonight that's going to be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I want to say be blessed to all of you, and thank you for tuning in to this channel. Don't forget to, if this is your first time, to subscribe to the link, and also please send this information out. Let people know that we're going to be on Bible study tonight. God bless. We'll talk to you tonight.